to make some noise. We need to find a way to get in the way. We need to find a way to get in good trouble, necessary trouble, if we're going to save America.
Welcome to Good Trouble Troops. I'm Jack Erdy. Thanks for checking in. What's good about trouble? Okay, the trouble's probably not the good part. The message is good. The goals are good. And when you do good to resist bad laws and bad people, you might get in some trouble. I chose the name and bought the URL right after Senator Cory Booker's record-breaking 25-hour call to action, during which he reminded us of the famous quote by John Lewis.
He said for us to go out and cause some good trouble, necessary trouble, to redeem the soul of our nation.
That's the inspiration and the purpose for Good Trouble Troops, or GTT. Who are the troops? Well, you are, we are. Anybody with a heart to stand up and get in good trouble against authoritarianism, extremism, and corruption. In this video, I'll answer 4 questions. 1, why did I post the video about Trump's first 120? We owe them eradication. 2, what's next for the channel? 3, what do I want to accomplish? And 4, how can you help? 1, why did I post a half-hour rant about Trump's first 120 days back in power? People say, don't launch a YouTube channel until you've got at least 5 videos up. And I only had the one, and it wasn't pretty. But I felt I had to say something quickly in the most fearless terms that I could muster, and that the message was more important than the presentation. Shocking developments are sending waves of dread at us every day, many times per day. And my sense of growing darkness and shrinking opportunity compelled me to speak out before my voice could be silenced. I did it because I want you to know that I have your back, that if you're in danger and you message me, I'll come. Even if nobody else will or nobody else can, I'm your ally. And it served its purpose because people with greater reach than mine have told me that it stirred them into action, and for that I'm grateful. But the purpose of Good Trouble Troops is not to be a series of Jack rants. Which brings me to the second question. What is the purpose of GTT, and what's next? 1, more videos because YouTube, but shorter and more polished, except for PSAs that need to go up right away. Guests, interviews with people who know stuff about what we're up against and how to beat it. I've got a Good Trouble Troops substack up and running. White Christian nationalists are one faction of the Trump power coalition. And I'm familiar with that world, so I decided to appeal to as many of those as I can, the ones who actually care about following Jesus, to leave that cult. So the first entry is a 5-part sermon that demonstrates the anti-Christian nature of white Christian nationalism using only the example of Jesus. So if you have any loved ones who are CN or CN curious, they may find this sermon compelling, because if they don't, they're arguing with Jesus. And that's what we call a catch-22, the least favorite catch of fishermen throughout biblical Galilee. 2, another GTT goal is to make and share safety and empowerment apps. I have plans for 2 apps, and I'm prototyping the first. It'll offer protective assistance to anyone being threatened or attacked. With the push of one button, ideally, it would let you capture video evidence and alert and share your mapped location to every ally within your chosen mile radius so that those allies can navigate to and stand with you. The second will list issues we face and have issue-specific petitions that can be signed digitally. That way we can bypass the door-to-door signature crawl to rapidly glean millions of verified signatures for the causes we support and against the ones that suck. And the most important purpose of GTT is 3 offline initiatives: analog, in-person, IRL training and campaigns, coalition building, talent-to-cause pipelining, and a safe space in which to conduct it all. That's one of my dreams, to open that space to you. Another is that it'll grow into a chain of similar spaces, and not just for strategic activism, for camaraderie too. Emma Goldman said, "If I can't dance, it's not my revolution." Let's see if we can start by finding one and launching one space with one dance floor.
Emma, Emma, Emma Goldman. Emma, Emma, hey!
Why are offline actions the most important? Because we're way past due to establish a well-informed, well-trained, and coordinated coalition. There's already a glut of good intel out there. Adrift in an ocean of bullshit, there are books, podcasts, blogs, you name it, already covering everything we need to know about how we got to this crisis, how to fight it, what's working, what's failing, and what to expect. I'll add links to those resources as we go, and sometimes I will add my own take on what's happening when I've got something useful and original to bring to the table. But what we need most, that we don't already have, are brick-and-mortar spaces where we can get together and map out Project 2027, where we can build our coalition, get everybody vetted, connected, and deployed into action according to their personal skills. Question number 3, what do I want to accomplish? Well, that's a long list, and I've already made a partial answer. But in the long run, I want an America that has the backs of all her people, and we can have that as soon as we honestly address the historical misdeeds, hold inclusive conventions on how best to make up for them, and then reform all the practices that have perpetuated inequity. As soon as we reverse inhumane policies and trends that have resulted in a national ethos indistinguishable from sociopathy. And then we can cultivate a culture of service and virtue to the point that any given product, service, or entity that lacks an obvious contribution to the welfare of humanity would be held in contempt. A culture in which wealth, fame, and power, for their own sakes, no longer have any appeal. But for now, I need to recruit a network of superheroes whose hearts burn to save our American democracy and who are willing to dedicate time and talent to that cause. And I personally don't just want to go back to a static quo. I want to keep organizing, strategizing, and lobbying. Yes, we need a people's lobby until we finally mined the promissory gold of our founding documents and fulfilled those promises that have, to this day, been compromised by racist, sexist, monopolists, and, if we're being honest, by the rest of us, the professional procrastinators. We do need a people's lobby to go toe-to-toe with all that dark corporate money and influence flooding our politics, and a people's think tank, but that's a whole other video. Folks, we don't know how powerful we are. We don't know what we can accomplish if we all bind together, indivisibly, and insist on the changes we want. Changes to make our nation a safer, saner, more equitable, inclusive place in which mere wealth and power and cunning no longer hold any appeal. We don't yet know how powerful we are. Let's find out. Thanks to the web, we have the capacity to all be connected at the same time, to work together step by step for profound change. So for the first time in our history, let's stop the world, metaphorically, and make them do what the majority of us want. Through sheer strength of numbers, force of will, and righteousness of cause, without violence, mind you. Let's overthrow our would-be overlords, expose the power grab parasites, shake those unqualified officials out of their dark cubbyholes. Now, I'll be looking for that physical space in which to empower, encourage, and teach one another. I'll be posting related videos, interviews, and essays as we go, and I'll be seeking sponsorship and/or funding for the apps and other digital products. 4. How can you help? In case it's not already clear, I know some of what needs to be done, and I know some of what needs to change. I have lots of ideas about how to bring some of those changes about. And I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'll take all the help I can get. I need help finding and funding the gathering space. I need help strategizing and networking. I need suggestions for the apps about whether to crowdfund or jump into the hip pocket of an established nonprofit or what. So if you think of people that I should connect with, activists, writers, reporters, politicos, podcasters, experts, please let me know. Maybe I need a co-host. If you have suggestions for someone you think would be the perfect Ren to my Stimpy, Dumb to my Dumber, a balancing voice, presence, and perspective, I'm all ears. Please keep checking in. And if you have suggestions for the Pittsburgh space for interview guests with knowledge of GTT-related topics or anything else, send them to goodtroubletroops@gmail.com. And if you have something sensitive to suggest, please use an encrypted mail server and send to maxdunham@tutamail.com. Thanks for your time. I know it's precious and limited and that there are millions of other things you could be watching or doing instead of this. And if you support what I'm up to here, please like, subscribe, and leave a positive review for this channel. It'll really help. No cavalry's coming, folks. We are the cavalry.
It's time to mend, time to turn the next bend. We depend on you to harmonize. So rise.